respectful, and I'm a good friend.
And that's the first thing that's on the recording. I am respectful. I am a good friend.
Yeah, but please ping me where the stool is. That's where Nim's sitting.
Literally anywhere by the table.
Is that white thing the table?
No, that's the entrance to the upper stairway. The brown thing is the table.
I know where the table is, fam.
The brown thing is the table. The brown thing is the table. The thing that is brown. Brown. Can you see brown?
The thing that was designed specifically to be brown.
That's brown. Yeah.
Brown tables brought to you by Brown Co. Your brown needs for brown tables.
I thought you were about to say something else, but we'll put a pin in that.
I
think we should not put a pin in that. I think we should let that go into the garbage.
Yeah, no getting offended at me for things I never actually said. Shaylin.
I wasn't mad. I said it was funny, just a little fucked up. It's fine.
I don't know. Sounds like you were pretty salty. Pretty amateur-y.
If y'all are gonna excuse me, I'm gonna go make something curse.
What?
Oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah, go make a curse thing.
Oh, well, so while he's making a curse thing, why is the dismantler dismantling a very good steak?
Dismantle.
Oh, that's what the dismantle does. That's what the dismantle
Dismantle
does.
steak? That's a perfectly good ribeye right there. Do you see that color and sheen?
I am a curious individual. I hold right to dismantle my steak.
That's fucked up, fam.
I want to discover the secrets of the steak.
Anywho's what you calls it.
So you all ready?
Yeah.
Eggy?
He'll be fine.
He's making something cursed.
Why is y'all curved?
I was spinning her around. Not to wind it up.
It looks like you slapped her on the screen.
I did.
I gotta pull out my Nim questions, because those
You gotta get out your Nim questions, and I think Eddie's not here.
Yeah. No,
what?
It was...
I'm like hella here.
Oh, okay. I said, is everybody ready? And you were
more.
like the only one that wasn't here to answer.
Yeah, I'm making curse thing.
Well, stop making curse things. So, you ready?
Yeah.
Alright, so where last we left off, Samson decided he wanted to be a man.
Yay!
A dead man.
Yeah, no!
Literally? Quite the living man.
Yes.
So,
No
as Zanzibar pulls his face away from yours and stands back up to his full height, he just smiles.
He stands a bar?
He stands a bar. Well, I guess we won't have any troubles there. So, I'm sure there's a zillion more questions that you're going to berate me with.
Yeah.
So start shooting while I think. Gotta plan out the next part of this whole thing.
Now...
Okay. Yeah?
There's one thing I really need to know about what you're planning.
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to get us to kill the king, or are you planning on doing it yourself?
Is there a preference there?
Well, if I'm being honest, yes.
In which direction?
As much as I think the King of Everengal is a pig who has nothing better to do than cause a great stir for nothing better than his own accord, I don't want to be implicated with a regicide for an entire kingdom that has enough hold to get students from other countries involved. And I don't want us to become enemies of the whole world because of it.
Well, on that note, I can say that you
at the very least, shouldn't become enemies of the whole world. However, somewhere along the lines, you may be blamed, considering the fact that it is to send you three back with the sword, which means you're going to get right up in the king's court, and that's where I plan to use you to get to him.
You can't just, like, wait 5 minutes after we leave?
Can we, like, pretend to attack you as if we don't want it to happen?
Oh, I think you'll understand when the time comes. You're not going to have to worry about anybody having seen you.
And at that, he's gonna turn over his shoulder because he's facing Prince Corpse, and he's just gonna smile at you.
I'd like clarification.
What?
Yeah, no. Nim goes,
What
can
was she
you
talking about?
specify?
And he's just, oh no, what's the curse thing?
No, it's actually kind of cute. No, it's kind of cute, I promise.
Oh, that really is cute.
Power of Zanzibar-chan.
Zanzibar-chan. Anyway. I don't see why you think that's cursed. That's pretty good.
Oh, no. I didn't know if you recognized it immediately or not, but...
Yeah, it's the happy face.
Yeah.
It's the happy smile face. What was the last thing? Oh, Nim was asking for clarification.
Yeah, like, what do you mean about the not being seen?
Well, the last time I killed the King of Everingal, I killed only him, and, well, look at where we are now. So, I tried being nice the first time, destroy his standing army, kill the leader, cut off the head as they say, walk away. This time I don't think being nice is worth it. So we're going to go a different route.
As he goes back to kind of like fiddling with Prin's body.
Ew.
He's not
Yeah.
like, no, he's just like running his hands over the bandages and stuff.
Still weird, but, you know.
Yeah.
That's not better.
Yeah.
Nim
At
goes,
some point I thought he was wrapped up.
Yeah, he's wrapped up in, like, cloth, but more of, like...
Yeah, that's kind of what I
mummy.
meant. I didn't know if it was mummy cloth-like or if it was just like drapes. But
Nim once again says, care to...
Oh, homie turned into a puddle. What do you want from me? I ain't a doctor. That would be a different character.
Ah.
Nim says, care to elaborate.
I'm not sure what's not to understand.
How this is gonna go down? Nim says it more politely. What's your plan of action once you get there?
and he's just gonna pause for a second, look out the window, look to you, and just take his hands, put them together, and go, boom, and just like spread his hands apart.
Yeah?
I can't simplify it anymore. You gotta be a little more than caveman for me.
So...
Really not hard to understand.
So, your plan is we deliver the sword, you pop out of it or something, like a
Houdini.
birthday cake, and the whole Everingal army just kind of goes up in some sort of Zanzibarian flight. Is that,
Why
is
do
that
people
what I'm getting?
No, not that much. Please, I still need a country in chaos to make this whole thing work. Just the castle. Kaboom.
Oh.
Why do
And-
people pop out of cakes?
Rich people do stupid stuff with their money, name. You should know
I've
that
never
firsthand.
seen
Yeah,
it.
really. Out of all of us, you should know that people pop out of cakes.
Huh, you think she's been to?
You think people
that's a
celebrated her
different kind
birthday.
of party, you
It
guys.
doesn't have to be her birthday.
No, that's a different kind of party.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I've
I don't
only
think
ever
there's
known it
really
to
a-
happen for strippers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that's the joke.
I've never
Yeah.
known that there was a restriction on strippers coming out of cakes. I didn't know there was only a certain type of event that this could be for.
Well, yeah, everyone else has to come out of a Danish.
Yeah, them's the rules.
Wouldn't that be coming out of the Netherlands?
Gotta cut.
No, that is to be Danish.
That is to physically be a pastry, not, coming out of one.
Alright,
Yeah,
we've dragged on this joke too long.
You must get out of your mortal Danish coil to ascend to be a great Dane.
Anyway,
Where's
Zantac.
this stupid?
Zantac says he's gonna blow up the castle. Gotcha.
Yeah, something like that.
So, are we, leaving the castle before he, makes it go kablooey?
I doubt it.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to.
So, after we do this for you, is that it? We just go back to our daily lives?
Of course not! We're
Of
going to
course
kick
not.
off one of the biggest wars that's ever been seen in the history of the world!
I'm sorry,
Oh.
what?
Oh, goody. Against who now?
Whatever decides to side with Arendal. There's a few countries I think might do it in the aftermath, and certainly the gods are going to be behind the scenes, but basically they want to start a standing army between me and the mortals. So I'm gonna crack the entire thing straight in half.
That sounds like a lot of work.
He says with a grandiose flair as he raises his arms into the air and then proceeds to go back fiddling with some of the vials on the table.
Homie cast prestidigitation, talking about his war plans.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems the most logical conclusion, right? If I don't, then how else am I going to have somebody to fight off my enemies while I work to take out the gods bit by bit? Like I said, if I do it myself so openly, I'm going to have, well, the entirety of the mortal plane on the wrong side of this. I can't certainly kill them all, then no one will be left. That's just lunacy. I've got to structure it in the nicest way so that they believe they're fighting for themselves. Follow?
As he'll turn to
You
Nim
just
with
need a
big
better
smile.
PR team, is what I'm hearing.
Does Nim actually
So-
say this?
Nim actually says this.
Well, my sweet little dear, not everyone wants to waste their time with the hierarchies of business and marketing. Some of us have actual work to do.
Yes, like plotting a war, hypothetically, but not actually starting one. Got it. Nim doesn't say that, but I do.
Of course you do. You say everything.
Well, yeah, but also, I think you'd actually kill Nim for that.
So, we're now getting involved in some sort of, war against every country?
Shouldn't be. If everything goes right, then your home country should be opposed because they should be smart enough to figure out that they were supposed to take a fall, i.e. through all of you dying. Should be. Considering that it will then be impossible to deny that the idea was to get the sword in the first place, which generally isn't always looked as a good thing because, well, a lot of people seem to die when I get challenged. So, since the entire thing was built on a lie, which was the first bad decision they made, then if the entire castle goes up, they can't possibly deny that something was wrong. Because, well, what are they going to do? Claim that the king was messing around with forces that he shouldn't have been? Or is it just easier to blame me like they were going to do in the first place? Basically, I'm relying on the gods being stupid. Which I think they very much are. And the king being stupid, and most of the higher military being stupid. There are a lot of people that are much less intelligent than I am. It's not hard to make them look stupid. And the best way is to call their bluff and their lie.
I feel like there should be several more steps involved. That's just me from a personal aspect.
And with that, he'll like look at Samson after moving Prin aside a bit.
Are you following along? Is this making sense?
This whole trip hasn't made sense in 2 months, but go off
Yeah,
again.
really.
Can I make a deception check
Oh.
to pretend like it's making sense to me? Because let's be honest, not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Sure, you can. Base roll. You just managed to come off as convincing. Shala and Nim believe you. And Zanzibar just looks at you and smiles.
You know, I should probably mention, I never tell a lie because I don't see a point in it. But my insight is divine, and I can always tell when I'm being lied to. It's a funny little clever trick I use to help myself remember things. Since I can never know, I can always know a lie, I know what's true by knowing when I'm being lied to. Even if I'm lying to myself. So what part of this are you not understanding, my simple little boy?
I understand it completely.
Deception didn't work, just blatant lying.
And Zanzibar's just kind of gonna stare at you, mouth agape.
I don't know what he was expecting.
Yeah.
Roll me a Constitution save.
Oh my god. Oh no.
So, without taking any damage, in the blink of an eye, Zanzibar's just gonna crack you upside the head. You know,
Why do people always hit Samson?
I just imagine it's like a smack to the back of the head.
pretty much, but he's standing in front of you, so it's just kind of like a upside your
Yeah.
temple.
Ow!
What part of divine insight are you not comprehending? You can't lie to me. Really doesn't work, I can tell.
Man, if Nim were...
I'm not... Please.
Go on.
Half of the problems you encountered was because you got lied to in the first place. I'm actively trying to get you to understand and tell you the truth. Why bother pretending like you understand?
I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. That's pretty much how I get through everything.
We can confirm this.
Does Yala just stand there nodding her head?
Yeah, I feel like now everyone else is in agreement. It's like, yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah, Nim does that. Well, yeah.
You know, I'm starting to understand how two of you died so pathetically.
the dumbest among us didn't die.
Yeah.
It's a miracle.
Damn, he's good.
I heard Jam, he's good.
Jam, he's good!
Jam, he's good.
Jam.
Right? So tasty.
Speaking of jam, can I go home?
Look, I'll try and explain it one more time. The king lied to you, and
I got
lied
that.
to all of your academies to get them to send you here, right? You following?
Yes.
He is too much of an idiotic child to have thought up that kind of level of deception. In fact, he probably was shaky the entire time he was trying to convince you in the first place. He probably didn't even do a very good job, and you probably didn't trust him from square one because, well, he's an idiot. So...
You are making sense.
Yes. So, that plan had to come elsewhere. Now, something I don't know. Did the military people you came with know what you were doing?
No.
Okay. So then if it didn't come, if Suffren, as I understand it, this man that's supposed to be one of the 4 grand tacticians, fun little fact, Amethyst allowed me to have an opportunity to pick his brain apart, which was quite helpful, didn't know what you were doing, that goes to show me that most of them probably didn't. And if they didn't, that means the gods definitely played a hand, and that's the hand they were playing. So, if the gods were trying to get me to attack children that were being sent with next to no hope of surviving, then what would that do considering in each of your home countries you each have some amount of national value? If you die, how do the people feel that you're gone?
In my case, I feel like they'd be fine with it, but I don't know about that.
These are the wrong 3 people.
Nim doesn't say anything.
Okay, let's assume that somebody actually cares whether you live or die. Let's assume that you matter.
I can think of one person, maybe 2.
Okay, let's assume that there's some amount of caring for the literal quote-unquote prides and joys of each academy, and thus each nation were basically slaughtered for what should have been a peaceful mission. That makes me look even more like a monster than most people already know or believe me to be, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what would potentially be one of the best ways to break that plan on its foundation? How do I react?
I just want to go home.
What do I do so that I don't get caught in that trap?
Turn them against each other.
Yes, and I can do that by doing the unthinkable, which given your true goal would be to...
Go along with it.
No, your true goal was to get something. That would be...
Give me the sword.
Which you're, by their standards, never supposed to be able to get. It should be a done deal, you're going to die.
Uh-huh.
So I should...
Give us the sword and let us get back.
Exactly. And here's the real kicker. If you arrive at Evangel claiming that you have the sword, the gods aren't going to watch over the king every second. The king will send people that he has in on it to receive you to keep the whole thing under wraps. He's too much of a child to think how you got there with something you should never have. So he's going to jump at the opportunity to see if you're telling the truth. He'll bring you right to him with the sword, expecting, though hesitant, that you may actually have it. Because he wants it almost more than anything. Remember, his father was taken from him because of the sword. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So, if you show up as a metaphorical, for a term you won't probably understand, a Trojan horse, that's my kind of thing. Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry, what? Huh?
I'm using some very old from a time long forgotten. But, basically, it's like putting a box that says gift on top of it, but meanwhile the box is filled with bombs.
Oh, I get it. So it's like you're taking someone who hasn't eaten and you're giving them food, and because they're so desperate, they're not going to check if it's poison.
Exactly! See, you're smarter than you give yourself credit for!
I'm never taking food from Samson again.
I think I'm pretty smart.
We're basically relying on the fact that the gods can't check every single second, nor would they, because they're too pompous to deal with mortals constantly. To pretty much all of them, you're all just tools to throw away.
And I'll show them a tool. He
Is
puts
it your
his hand
gun?
on him. Yeah, he puts his hand on like he just like grips the handgun, but it's still in the what's it called, holster.
Is it sticky from your saliva?
And at that,
I
Zanzibar's
wasn't
gonna
licking the handle.
no.
I just
Zanzibar's
he
just
shoved a
gonna
gun in his mouth earlier.
Zanzibar's just gonna curl his arm around and under Samson's other arm and just bring him close.
Oh, my dear Samson, we'll show them a tool. The worst and most massive tool they've ever seen!
Zanzibar, I'm gonna be real with you. I ain't like that.
I thought you were saying, don't touch me, you just touched a dead body.
And as he's just posing, fist raised in the air, his face, and I'm just gonna see that his face droops to be a straight line. And as he lets go of Samson, Samson's gonna take another smack to the back of the head.
Ow! God, it's like I never left school.
Maybe
Concentrate!
they're hitting you in school.
Concentrate, you dunderhead! Now listen. The king will take you in, with the sword in tow, and when you pull out the sword, that'll be key for my entrance before anybody can think to grab it. Which means, I'll have the sword, I'll have the king, and I'll have everything that falls into place. They'll be gone and dead before they ever realize they lost.
And then where do we come in afterward?
Well, assuming everything goes to plan, I guess the best place would be back here.
In the tower, on Zanzibar, in the desert. Okay, side note, what the heck is going on with this desert?
Oh, I can explain that. We'll get to that in a section. But, another little caveat. So, you probably didn't know, but you probably have seen it done before, since I know you've had dealings with death. This is a neat little trick I taught her.
As he lifts up his fingers, forms a snap, and you just hear him snap, and all of a sudden, you can't see him, but Hyala sees he's now behind Samson.
She doesn't
What
like
the-
that.
What the hell?
Now, your little sorceress here may be able to tell you that that is teleportation, though my methods are a little more special. In
I mean,
essence...
I can do that too.
Oh, you're cute.
I mean, kinda.
Yeah, keep walking.
Of course you can, my little variation.
And as he's just gonna push your hat off your head and ruffle your hair.
But I can. I mean, not in this. He's just gonna look at the Adam armor.
So then you can't.
Yes, well, not to the effect I can. Should all go to plan, I can literally just grab the three of you, snap my fingers, and we'll end up back here. I can go anywhere so long as I know where I'm going to, who I'm going to, or what I'm trying to move. Speaking of move,
And he's gonna snap his fingers, hold out a hand, and a lemon's just gonna drop into his hand.
A lemon?
Yep, a lemon.
anyway...
Oh, can I get one?
Oh, sure.
And he's gonna snap his fingers and drop a lemon in front of you.
I assume it's going to be in the hat that is currently in my hand since he moved it.
Yeah.
It just falls into the hat.
So anyway...
Nice.
Sour. It should all work pretty well. Are you following now?
Yeah.
I followed up until the lemon.
So now, sorry if I'm being too thorough here, what do we do after we get back here? We kind of have like family expecting
Most of
us.
Nim doesn't say that.
Well, to be honest, I really don't care about that part.
So then, could you move us somewhere that isn't here, so we don't have to try to find a way out of Zanzibar?
I mean, I could do
Like
that.
literally anywhere else in the world.
Oh, but then I would have to have very detailed knowledge of where I'm sending you, and, well, I don't expect you to trust me right now, so would you really want me to know exactly where everyone you love and hold dear is?
I can show you the detailed plans to my summer villa.
It's like, hey, I can give you a second place to bomb.
Besides, as it is my understanding, that one, pointing to Nim, would like to learn a thing or two. I figure while waiting for the chaos to unfold, it might be a good chance for her to practice.
He's eating the rind too? What a fucking weirdo!
He is
Oh, of
eating
course he
it
is.
like he is eating this lemon like an apple.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
that's Tiffany.
Samson cut his in half. It's like, he'll offer one to either y'all or Nim.
And then we'll shake your head.
Y'all?
Hyala will take it, consider squirting it into her eyes, and then just eat it.
Man.
And he'll just slide the last, like, ripped up quarter of the lemon into his mouth.
Ow. Very high in essential vitamins. Gotta make sure you eat healthy, kids. That's how you get to be old like me.
I don't think anyone wants to be that old. Nim doesn't say that before you ask.
I don't think anyone wants to be that old.
There you go.
Then why do people go after immortality?
They're scared.
Liches or the like. I figure it's a good answer for it.
I mean, we met Des. She seems nice. Right, Hyala?
I just imagine her saying, "Don't talk to me right now."
Oh, don't upset the poor little tabaxi. She might get her fur all floofed.
That happened once. Those little, sandcracklers.
Funny.
Right?
But yes, the point still remains. If that one wants to learn something, she's going to need time to practice and do it, which might be useful considering the host of unimaginable horrors you three are probably going to have to endure to pull this entire thing off.
Do you think that we're going to be getting attacked on the way back?
On the way back, like I said, teleport. Literally
No.
instantaneous.
I mean, I don't think you plan on teleporting us straight to Everengall like by tomorrow.
Oh, no. That part I don't care about. You make your own way there.
That's what I mean. What's the deal with those big, water monsters that we encountered on the way here?
I almost said hydro flask.
Now,
I don't
You said
remember what
hydro
they're actually called.
Hydrask, Shaylin.
Hydro flask. I got you, fam.
Just remove 2 of the syllables and yeah.
Yeah.
The Dro Flask.
wait. Exactly
Good
what
work,
would you be referring to? Because there's a whole list of things that swim in the soup.
I mean,
Oh,
it's
what's there
big,
to
it's
see?
kind of scary. It makes really good soup.
Oh, the thing I made because I wanted to spit in the face of whatever power decided to ask should be a thing. I
Not
made
really
that?
specific, but okay.
Let's see if I remember correctly. Yeah, no, I think I called them hydrasks. You know, these things.
And he'll snap his finger and he'll just be holding like a minnow-sized, like, baby Hydrask.
You made that.
Yeah, it took a while, but now that I figured out how to make one, it's pretty easy.
And he'll kind of just nonchalantly flip it up into the air and into a cup of water that's sitting on the laboratory table.
Okay, what about all the other creatures that live on here?
Oh, let's see. I believe the owlbears came over when the refugees came. That was a couple million years ago. The snails are a byproduct of the death of Salatis. So are the bulbs, the mantis, the golems are an interesting one, and the Zorn kind of just adapted to the current climate. Then there's the Patuis, which was an evolutionary marvel.
I meant his name is Jerry.
That's nice, child.
And he'll go back to thinking.
And then there's the parrot bears, the carnivorous tree snails. Those are both natural. That should be everything. Did I cover everything?
So
Minimal.
when you say refugees, from where? Was this not like always Zanzibar?
Oh no. I didn't always live here. At some point I had to travel here. That's just the nature of things. But, what's the best way to summon a couple million years of history into one simple sentence?
Instead of using one simple sentence, try a few. It might help.
Does Nim actually say that?
No, what Nim
I hear
actually
the
says.
cogs turning.
No, what Nim actually says is maybe try a few more sentences.
Well, yes, but look at who I'm talking to. If I use too many words, I'm going to confuse the poor boy.
Hey,
Also, the simpler I have to keep it, the less I want to... Well, like I said, I never tell a lie, so I gotta pick my words carefully to make sure it's always true. I suppose, for a lack of better term, the refugees of Preveresis?
Reverie. Oh, it was that long ago.
Yes, back when, well, what was Raesis and a couple other different lands was Salaria, which was ruled over by the god Salaris, who I killed, and then, what was it, a couple hundred? Definitely wasn't 1,000. Some amount of triple digits later, they decided to make an army, bolstered up the weapons that they already had, and then I completely decimated the entire continent, leaving a bunch of godless, civilist people, and then, well, the ruins became a thing. What little of it got rebranded, basically turned into a slave nation, and I believe, as the story goes, those who hailed from Salatis tried to live under the banner of constantly digging up their old culture and civilization, but, well, I hear the nomads don't have it too great. So, sometime after that, not long, there's basically a giant cultural split. Some of them ran across the water to come find me while I was building the tower, and, well, it was curious enough that they would choose the one person who took their world away to come seek refuge with. If the outside world was really that terrible, it was kind of like watching an interesting little experiment happening. So yeah, I decided not to kill them. Call me quirky, wacky, whatever.
Evil.
Kind of crazy. Quirky's not the right word.
So they developed what they could and managed just enough to not repeat the same mistakes of the outside world, which is pretty much why they just live in shanty towns now. But hey, they're relatively happy. I get to observe something every once in a while without having to go outside to there.
As he kind of just flicks his fingers.
And yeah. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Yeah. So,
What's Samson's face look like right now?
So technically, you're not even Varetian. You're probably more Solarian than anything else.
What's Samson's face look like right now?
Honestly, he's just. You're going to be shocked, but he's thinking. Ah!
No!
Run away! I need to do a con saving throw.
Samson's
He-
thinking,
Wisdom saving throw.
what's next? Shiala smiling? I can't take all this.
Oh, Hyal is
And-
very far from smiling.
And Nim stands up for herself.
She may be.
Okay, let's not get too crazy right now.
Nim's growing a backbone, Samson's growing a brain. If I only had a spine, a heart, a
A brain
smile.
hurt the nerve.
So, let's not get too crazy. Nim still, if you guys say, yeah, this sounds feasible, even though Nim has reservations, she'll be like, okay, let's do it.
And I gotta use the restroom while Samson dusts off the gears in his brain.
Dust off.
The hamster's back from break.
Yeah, you
Like-
destroyed all those cobwebs and now all the spiders have to find a new home.
Aw, man, those poor spiders.
I mean, if they were cobwebs, they were already abandoned.
Man, Hyal is
Man,
having a
no.
bad time.
Yeah, how's
And I'm
Hyala?
giggly about it because alcohol.
How's Hyala
Ooh.
doing?
Not well.
Ah, like always.
She's like, oh, it's almost over. Nope, we just have to do something else for a different stuck-up, overpowered idiot. Oh. Oh.
This is why Samson hates the rich and powerful.
Man.
I'm
What does
back.
it take to... Never mind.
So, did Samson's gears finish dusting themselves off?
Yep. Then
some
gears to
dusting
be
in there?
dusted.
So, Larian, was it?
Yes.
So, wait, I thought the gods hated mortals. Why would one of them have a kingdom here?
And Zanzibar is kind of just gonna not look at any of you, just look at the wall.
Because there used to be one that actually did care.
Used to be.
Zanzibar has an axe.
Baby mama drama, I got you, fam. I understand.
Oh yes, the angst of Zanzibar.
Like I said, I did kill her, but I didn't do it because I necessarily wanted to. There was something else I wanted to do that superseded our friendship. So yeah, I basically killed the god of gods and got the rest of them to fall into line for a little bit.
Until now, huh?
Look how well that turned out. Hooray! Nim doesn't say that.
We're
Fear,
all just sitting here judging.
fear is a powerful motivator. I stopped the entire genocide of a race by taking out somebody they didn't think could be killed.
So you stopped genocide with genocide. I got you, fam.
No, that was deicide. Genocide is multiple people.
He
We're
has
not getting
also
into
done that,
specifics
though. And is planning to do it more.
They have a
Specific
common.
genocide. Continue.
How's what
Really?
coming?
Really?
The angel.
Oh,
They made Samson mad.
Well, yeah, no, that person definitely we gotta go shoot lots.
But in
Lots,
any,
bang bang.
in any event, yes. I stopped the entire genocide of a race of mortals that took a cost and it worked for the time being. I mean, Amethyst was a good example.
as he kind of holds up the pearl.
Technically still is, but
And he'll just toss it up and just snatch it from the air.
Nim doesn't get why he's calling up Pearl and Amethyst, but whatever.
It is funny how one gets tricked into working for the very person that would have tried to eliminate them. And then you have that over there as he points over his shoulder with his thumb to Prin.
What exactly are you doing with Prin's body?
I'm giving it back.
To his people?
Pretty much, yeah.
Express shipping, same day.
So Simpson only gave Zanzibar the armor and the body, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him the swords too. Just be like, you think you can send these back with him then?
I suppose. And he'll take the swords and kind of just toss them over his shoulder onto Prin.
Impaling the already dead body.
No, they just clatter against
Man, I
his
wanted
chest.
those.
Just clatter against his chest and roll onto the table.
And there's some paperwork that goes with it too.
Paperwork?
Yeah. Apparently, happens when you're rich and come from a powerful family or whatever.
Not for me!
I don't think you come from a family.
I don't remember! And he's just gonna smile and shrug his shoulders. I have no idea what pretty much anything's ever gone on since the start of this reality.
That explains a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Alright, so take the body out, take the swords out. And I'll
For
give him the
there.
scroll of I'll give him the scroll and the insignia too.
And the playing cards?
Yeah, that's what I
No.
thought too.
Man, I wanted those swords.
You use a longsword?
No, but I can.
I just asked if you could.
I don't see why I wouldn't be able to. I would just be rolling with a lower stat.
Well, stop. We don't need you missing anymore.
I don't like you.
That's not true.
So Zanzibar is gonna walk over to the room and he's just gonna snap his fingers. And very Zanzibar style, an armchair that looks like it's just made of bones is gonna appear and he's just gonna sit in it playing with the tiny glowing pearl.
That looks uncomfortable.
You got it.
You get used to it.
Whatever. And the formatting for Roll20 sucks.
So weird.
Yeah, it's not great. And he's
Anyway,
just gonna point with his free hand to Hyala and be like, is this one always this silent? I usually expect mortals to, you know, do this with the talkie part. As he's just gonna
Yeah,
make
no,
the-
that she's in fact always this silent. Isn't that right, Yala?
Yellow will stay silent.
See?
Oh, come now. Surely you have something you want.
To
Anything.
leave.
Humor me!
Did she not already say, can we go now?
She did, but...
That is her one thing that she wants.
Honestly,
Homie, she's just gonna keep looking at him dead in the eyes. Quietly.
to be quite honest, I think the only thing she wants is probably to go home right now.
And he's kind of just gonna give a very curious look. Why? Did something happen to Katma that I last checked? Isn't it just an icy tribal wasteland with a bunch of people fighting constantly? Who would ever want to go back to that?
But it's her tribal icy wasteland.
Stop calling it a wasteland.
Oh yes,
No,
and
while we were saying that, the tip of her tail's probably like started flicking, and the people who know her better probably realize she's getting very agitated.
I mean, it's her wonderful, lovely home.
what could possibly be so important that you'd want to go back?
Listen, I don't know. You think I got better at? You think I have
Don't
an
say you
easy
don't know,
time?
he's gonna know you're lying. Because you do know.
Samson, okay, Samson knows a reason. He doesn't know the reason.
There's a lot of reasons.
Exactly.
Also, Zanzibar, you can't judge other places for being shitholes.
I
Because,
wish.
oh my gosh, you high-key made this one into the biggest one on the planet.
Nim just goes, people have things they like at home.
Oh. So then, she's silent and no one else knows why she might want to go back?
I have an idea, but
I almost said no one tells me anything important. I have to
When
overhear
Samson
it.
says he has an idea, she just shoots him this glare.
like without even looking at it, it's like I have an idea, but it's kind of between us.
You know, I can do a lot of things. And he's not even making eye contact. He's still just playing with the pearl. He's got his legs kicked up on the chair. He's just laying sideways in it. Whatever it is, I could probably do it for you. If it means that you'll cooperate, then it certainly will be in the pure purview of things I would want to do.
Shala doesn't negotiate with terrorists.
Now,
The sad thing is that's all she's been doing this entire campaign.
Come on,
That's
what do you
she's
say?
doing at.
Come on, what do you say, pretty kitty? I scratch your back, you scratch mine, we all go
Shala
home
doesn't listen to
happy.
people talk here. That's all Nim says.
Come now. Every single mortal has at least one thing they do anything for. And by my standards, you're a mortal. So name your price.
Nim wonders what it's like to have something you do anything for.
I would in fact like to get the heck on with it. Oh, but yeah, she's just gonna kind of, without really changing her facial expression, she's kind of turned it back to pure neutrality. It's just like, I simply want to get this over.
This has taken 10 minutes too long. And I'm at
This
my
has
limit.
taken a session too long. She wanted to get in, get out, and go home. And he's like, let me explain my elaborate plot to take over the world. And she's like, great, now I have more crap I have to do.
And he's just gonna look at Gala for a few seconds.
You're no fun. You got questions?
And she just points over his head to Nim.
I'm getting bored, so ask them or forever hold your peace.
Of paper.
Alright, let me pull them up. Okay, so, before we start, do you have an, like, indie
I have a
book?
quick question.
Sure.
Is there like an underneath these desks?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
is there an outlet to charge my phone?
Does Gala just crawl under the table?
Yes. She's just like, I'm gonna go take a nap.
This is gonna take a sec. Which is very true! I have
Yeah,
a lot.
she sees whatever list Nim has and is like,
Alright, so before we start, do you have like an extra empty book or extra apartment so I can take notes on? I'm kind of running out.
Sure, whatever.
Fantastic. Alright, so. So you guys, you want me to start with the heavy hitting questions or the not so heavy hitting questions?
That question sounds sounds like a question to them, because you said you guys.
Oh.
This is out of character. I am wanting to know what you guys want to hear first. The hard questions or the not one hard questions?
Put it on shuffle.
They're already randomized. I'm going to run them down.
Yeah, ask his,
And
ask
put
his
them on
favorite
shuffle.
color, and then why he commits genocide, and then What is
And then if he
favorite
and how he
Pokemon
takes his
version?
coffee.
yeah.
I almost said you dressed like that on purpose. Anyway. Nim asks, so you know a lot about wild magic. Is there a way to, like, make it less wild?
Explain.
Can I control the wild magic?
Yes.
How?
You'd need to be an expert in Arcana, and that knowledge I could very easily teach to you. It just takes time.
Time you're, like, willing to spend, or...
And he's just gonna give you this very unamused look.
Child, I am using you as a tool in order to get what I want. You really think I'm going to send somebody as meek, weak, and pathetic as you out to face God's know what? Without any kind of preparation? Of course I'm willing to teach you so that you survive. I don't even need to use magic to peel your head off your shoulders. Out of the
That
three
is
projects
manipulative.
I've got sitting in my out of the three projects I currently have sitting in my house, you are definitely going to be one of the most interesting.
Yay, I'm interesting. Anyway.
Congratulations. Roll on.
Is there a way to power up Mage Hand? Or, like, a stronger version?
I believe what it's called is Bigby's Giant Hand. Certainly not as interesting a name as I would have come up with, but serviceable.
Cool. Add that to the list of things to learn. Is there a way that we can get Hyala another cold stone? Or, like, a spell to keep her cool in the summer? I mean, in the heat?
I feel like you asked that last session.
No, I asked that after last session.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember.
I think you said that was also going to be a session question.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I remember now. Yeah, sure, I can provide her with another stone. You would think that somebody might think to ask for one of those, but I don't know. I'm just Zanzibar.
You sound so salty, but whatever. I said that, not Nim. What's up with the desert?
Elaborate?
Why is it so hot? Like, hotter than an average desert.
Oh, because this is where the fight between me and Solaris ended. It's where she died. The desert is scarred with the remains of her power.
Oh,
3 whole weeks of non-stop combat.
Weird to build the
Okay,
tower here.
3 whole weeks of non-stop popcorn. What did you actually say?
Combat.
Oh,
But Zanzibar
Popcorn.
kind of like muttered that to himself.
gotcha.
And what did
3
Samson
weeks
say?
of non-stop popcorn.
It was glorious, divine even.
What did Samson say?
Huh? Oh, he said it was kind of weird to put it on, to put a tower here.
And at that, Zanzibar is just gonna catch the Celeste Pearl again and just...
That's because the lodestone of the tower is the last place Solaris ever put her feet to the earth. I built the tower where she died.
And then he's just gonna go back to flicking the pearl up in the air.
As a grave, I guess.
Just because I killed her didn't mean that she wasn't a friend.
I get what you mean.
I'm sure you do, Samson. I sure you do.
Down. Okay. So Nim asked, what happened to the Eladrin?
I'm guessing you actually read her father's book?
Twice.
And that's more than Amethyst ever did. As he'll put his feet back, as he'll kind of sit up, put his feet back on the ground and stand up. The Eladrin were the closest things mortals could come to divinity themselves. Their blood was a mix, naturally, of blood and ichor. They were capable of doing things that rivaled the gods. As you could imagine, this shook the gods and made them worry that, well, the mortals could be as powerful as them. So they decided to try and wipe them out. Something that they were moderately successful in. I tried to stop it, but it is one of the few mistakes I made because I just didn't do things my way and decided to try and do things other people's ways. And well, look at where that turned out. And he's kind of just gonna put the pearl in front of Nim. You get this as a result. Well, they didn't all die because I managed to make a quick decision. I decided to kill the strongest god of gods, which just so happened to be Solaris. Because, well, honestly, I knew she would never agree with what I was saying. And then we fought, and then I killed her, and then, well, they took pause. They had already killed off most of the most powerful Eladrin. All that's left was, well, people as pathetic as Amethyst. I made a sacrifice of what I wanted to do something that, in the whole grand scheme of things, was a want for the greater good. Looks like I'll be able to redo that mistake and replace these impetulant gods.
Nim feels like she should ask what the significance of this pearl, not amethyst, but pearl is, but also doesn't want to open that can of worms.
Do it, you coward!
No, he seems kind of upset about it.
Do it, you coward.
No. So Nim will just ask, what exactly were you helping Celeste's dad do anyway?
And he'll look at you for a second and kind of like raise an eyebrow, and he's like, oh, right.
I was helping Amethyst's father try and reclaim the throne that the Eladrin once had. To restore his power, much like I plan to do now. Because the best way to replace the gods would be with the Eladrin. Again, as he looks at Samson, kind of going along with that theme of liking to spit in my enemies' faces. But of course, a third party decided to try and capture him, which they did, and I've been trying to hunt him down and reclaim him ever since. In fact, that's what Amethyst's contract was for. Soon wanted her to hunt down her father because she believed that he was working directly under me, which wasn't true. About 5 years ago, Soon realized this fact and decided to pretty much all but break her contract with Celeste and continue lying to her, even though she found out that the wordage of her contract was now null and void. In essence, I didn't cause Celeste, misspoke, Amethyst's father to attack her. That was the people who took him, who changed him. So therefore, the very reason the contract was made in the first place was, well, non-existent. The reason why Amethyst would sign the contract wasn't because he was working for me. It was in fact because he was being, well, used. Like a pawn.
Like us.
Up until this point, yes. My wordage may
No,
be
continuing now still. He
My
intends to use this for puns.
My wordage may be blunt, but pawns don't get told exactly what the plan is. Pawns get told only what is thought that they need to know. Our agreement is I'll tell you anything you want to know and everything you want to know. so long as you understand that, well, I'm not exactly a person you can double cross. I don't intend to use you till you break. I intend to help you get stronger so that you can achieve your goal. And then whatever it is after that, well, it's none of my business. A pawn doesn't have freedom. I'm giving you an opportunity to be more than a pawn.
Oh, lucky us.
Right?
Definitely feel so advantaged in this situation.
Circumstantials.
Circumstantials. End of statement.
Yeah. How much progress did you and Celeste's father make in your work?
He only really managed to start understanding it and was getting a bit of a grip on his power. Not enough to actually warrant any notice. To be fair, I was entirely planning on making the same offer to his daughter. But, well, we've already rehashed why that isn't really gonna work anymore.
How dare you force Nim to understand that amethyst, the pearl that is not an amethyst, is Celeste? How dare?
And just so that we're totally clear, my tiny little sorceress, her name wasn't Celeste. Her birth name was Amethyst. Hence why
That's
I
a
keep
dumb
using
name,
it.
I'm kidding.
I don't care what you think of it, but I don't speak a lie. What you keep saying isn't her name. It will never be her name. It will never become her name because she was given one.
You know, if Nim were sassy, she'd be like, well, she told me it was Celeste, so fuck you.
Yeah, no, I mean, Zanzibar's just like, I will call her by her dead name and I will revel in it.
No. Anyway. That's not funny, but it's kind of funny.
Kind of fucked up funny.
Yeah, it's
It's not
fucked
even
up.
her dead name, it was her given name.
Yeah, but she's been choosing to go by Celeste, and therefore the thing she went by before is not, like, why is that hard to understand? Golly.
Nim asked, how do you make preservation tags?
And at that, he's gonna just stop and looking at her like,
It's really not hard. It's just a rune inscription. I could teach you that in 5 minutes.
Fantastic. Adding it to the list.
Oh, goody. As he's just gonna, like, facepalm.
How do you get around so quickly? Like, is there a specific spell that you like to use, or do you, like, mix it up all the time? Do you use, like, circles, or something else?
while she's talking, he's just gonna look over at Samson and just give him, like, is she for real kind of look.
He's just gonna
Yes.
nod.
Once again, the rest of the party is like, yes.
Yeah. It's like, is he really this dumb? Party nods. Is she really this quiet? Party nods. Is she serious right now? Party nods.
It's a party. So he's gonna walk up to her. He's just gonna take his fingers and adjust her head to look up at him.
Don't touch her. You touched a dead body. That's gross.
Yeah. You're also a grown man, and she's 16.
17.
Hey.
She's been 17 for 2 months. Let's be honest. Alright, anyway, moving on.
So, pay attention. Because I don't
Alright.
like to repeat myself. I already
He's
explained
not
this
even
once,
repeating
but
everything.
But
He said, planning another attack on Evrangal.
I like that we as players can just, like, trash talk Zanzibar, while all our characters are just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. You gotta admit that one was funny, though.
On some level.
So he, like, what does he do?
So he kind of just looks her dead in the eyes, and he just snaps a couple of times, and he just keeps moving forward and backward. Like, literally just shifting in space and time.
So instead of hydroplaning, he's astroplaning.
Yeah, I guess.
Neat.
Like I said earlier, teleportation. You surely must know how that works.
Yeah, but I wanted to know the specifics of how you teleport.
It took me, I think, a few billion years to teach that concept to Death herself.
Hashtag humble brag.
It's not something easy to teach. In fact, I have the vague, distinct feeling it took me an incredibly long time to figure out how that works. I could explain it, but there's just not enough time in your lifespan.
You know, I was tempted to say, you don't know how long my lifespan is. But he can decide how long Nim's lifespan is.
I mean, there's a natural lifespan, and then there's the lifespan that's decided for you, so...
Yeah. That's exactly what I mean.
I could teach you some advanced versions of teleportation, but specifically that requires astro magic, and that's, well, even I'd be impressed if another mortal was to work around how to use astro magic.
Nim just goes, I'll take what I can get.
Good attitude! Always reach for the stars, kiddo!
Alright.